Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the June open board meeting. And if this time, if you please stand and raise the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Just wanted to touch base on a couple items before we get started. Committees have been working on developing their new charters in the governance policy format. We've received a few in from the committees, but we have a number of committees that still have not sorted out their charters. So please, committees, put those together. It's important that we understand where you would like to operate, and we can share those with you and come to an agreement that works for everybody. So this is an opportunity to clean up some very old charters, some new charters, and put them in a similar format.
Crickets.
No crickets. Also, just want to mention the delegates have been working diligently on the demographics project, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. To begin, Chris, could you read the consent agenda, please?
Yes, Mr. President, welcome everyone. We're going to go through what is on the consent agenda. There are 3 items for you. If you see the agenda that has been up front or online, we have the minutes for the May, sorry, Bob and Anand, there we go. We have the minutes for the May 28th open session meeting. We have a resolution to record liens, and I'll read that in 1 second. And then finally, we have a receive and file the financial packet for the for the period ending May 31st, 2025. Now back to the liens that will be filed on the resolution. I'm going to read those account numbers that are affected. Beginning account number 0231-01, 0283-01, 1354-01, 2259-01, 2952-03, 3062-02, 3125-01, 0331-01, 1602-02, 2192-01, 0980-02, 1375-02, 1619-01, 1635-02, 2285-02, 2981-03, 3265-03. Remember Bob's 3-minute warning. Okay, and that concludes the items on the consent agenda for the board to approve.
Did I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next on the schedule is the review and file the May 2025 financial statement package. Gary,
I
is there
make a
any-
motion, we receive and file the May financial statements.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Chris, back to you for the Executive General Manager report.
Should we make sure Linda Vang brings in the guests? We're a little early. If Linda's not, she's not there, okay. Jay, just bring her. I'm going to start on my report, and then we'll take care of that, Michelle. First, General Manager's reports. The monthly activity reports that I do for the community, they are online. I'm working on May now, and we should have that hopefully very soon online. The budget schedule will be released online as soon as the board confirms those dates. And also, districts, clubs, and groups, this pertains to those entities. Management will be issuing a memo to these entities to remind them of Rule 7.05 that states outside caterers must be registered with the Recreation Department. This is to ensure that caterers have the proper licenses and insurance to cover the homeowners and the association. So those entities will be getting a memo sent out reminding the rule. And we are going to have a presentation but we're a little bit early. So as we go through the reports, Mr. President, as that person walks in, we'll do an announcement for the Employee of the Month at that time, if that's okay.
Just let us know whenever you're ready.
Perfect. That completes the Executive General Manager report.
Any sub-association? Nothing for this month. Delegate Assembly?
Good afternoon. My name is Cal Martin, and I am here on behalf of the Delegate Assembly. Just a couple things to tell you. We are working on the demographic survey alongside the board. That was one of the things we were trying to fit into the workshop for the month of June, which will now become we'll have 2 workshops in July because we just haven't found a date where everybody on that particular committee and other people that wanted to be there could meet on that date. So our next workshop is scheduled for July 3rd. It'll happen in the bus room right over there at noon, just before we have our next Delegate Assembly meeting. And the purpose of that meeting is not so much to do anything other than let everybody digest the work that's been done so far and see if there's any other contributions that might be good recommendations for the final product. Other than that, at the Delegate Assembly, we're kind of trying to focus on rebuilding a new order of priorities, things to focus on, improvements that could be made here in the community, and things that we should pursue at other points in time during the course of the year. And that's it.
Thank you, Cal. City of Banning update.
Good afternoon. I'm Sherry Flynn, your District 3 Council member and Mayor Banning. We had our City Council meeting last night. I have a lot to tell you. I'll try to just highlight the most important items. Last night we voted to dismantle Opportunity Village and sell at auction the small homes purchased with the grant funds and place any other items like cars, trucks, anything else with the city. We are then going to take the about $356,000 we have left in the grant, plus selling anything else, and we are going to rent homes and put homeless in actual homes. We can rent the homes anywhere in Riverside County, does not have to be in Banning, and we will have overseeing of that. Opportunity Village, also we're gonna defund the positions, and we were spending $608,000 a year on just for salaries that was paid out by the city, by our taxpayer money, to have 5 people at Opportunity Village. So we will save on that money also. And we're also gonna have SCAG, which is a group starting July 1st, which is an emphasis on drug rehabilitation and mental health help. And they're gonna start within the community going out on July 1st. We also have our other groups, Faith in Action, church groups, and things that will also be working. So hopefully all of this will go to a different direction on really helping the homeless instead of just putting them in little homes by the freeway. Also, something that's very, very important is we have the North Point development, which is east of here between Highland Home Road, Sun Lakes Boulevard Extension, which is planning to go through, and Sunset, which is 10 warehouses. It's called Sunset Crossroads. It's been in the works for a while. However, once we had a change in the city council, the developer has come back to us and given a lot of concessions. So I wanted to let you know about some of those concessions because I need to know how the community feels about this project now. It's 10 warehouses, 5.5 million square feet. That's what's planned now. These are all new concessions. North Point will be removing 2 warehouses and adding 15 more acres of commercial off of Sunset. They will also, they will have 24 months to build that, and if they don't, they will have a $500,000 fine every 6 months that they do not, because we want to ensure that they don't offer it and never build it like what they did with Banning Point. Okay, also, they were offering land for fire station, water tank, electric substation, but then they wanted the city to pay it back at full market value, so they weren't really offering anything. They now are going to donate all of that land. They are not going to request any money, but they are also going to make a $15 million contribution plus an $8 million benefit fee fund for building a fire station. And the fire station now would not be where Highland Home is when you come out of Sun Lakes Boulevard there, Highland Home, which is where it was planned next to Sun Lakes. It would now be on the other side by Sunset towards Bobcat, which is a much more appropriate area for it. And they'd also give us $1 million for a fire truck or ladder truck. They're also offering $500,000 grant. We upped it to $750,000 to help with rehabilitating the downtown area. And they are going to increase the special facilities tax from 10 cents a tax to 20 cents, which will offer, instead of $137,000 towards fire and police for that area, it would be $1 million a year. They're also going to, the area that they're removing the warehouses from are along Sunset, and they will add more landscaping and more buffer to that. And I'm really trying to look at getting, now that we have that 15 extra acres, trying to get a Costco in there. That's the aim. But in the end, there's still 8 warehouses. There's still 8 warehouses. So, you know, they're offering a lot of concessions and dangling a lot of carrots, and I don't know how the community feels. You know, a fire station is important. We're still in negotiations. I would also like to see them donate land for an animal shelter. Okay, so I will be having a meeting, and it's not announced yet, but I will be having a meeting that everyone can go to here to get more information on this. Okay, also, there was RCTC presented last night, the Highland Springs interchange improvements, and originally they were going to do the diverging diamond, which would be very innovative. It was actually the most cost-effective, but when they looked into it, Caltrans said no, because they would have to remove a lot of parcel driveways along Highland Springs, and they'd also have to remove the one gas station there, and all of the hazards that would bring, you know, digging up the tanks and everything. So they asked for all of the original ones they had. Caltrans said no to. So they asked for a 5th plan, and this 5th plan is fairly complicated, but it is a Joshua Palmer realignment. And you will basically have the on and off ramps that exist when you're going north on Highland Springs. The on and off ramp going east and west, south of the freeway, will remain the same, but it will be widened to 3 lanes instead of basically 1.5 right now. And then when you go under the freeway, you'll at Joshua Palmer, and then above that, they'll put a roadway, and they will abandon the off-ramp going west off of Highland Springs, and they will now have it further east and going through Joshua Palmer Way and going all around. If you want to see this, it's on my website, my Facebook site, if you want to see it. Also, when I have the meeting, I can show this. I can't show it to you here. But that will, the problem is they don't have the funding yet. They have some funding. And also, it's eminent domain. There's a lot of properties along there they would have to acquire. So I don't know where it's going to end up in the end. But they are working on it, and they have moved the timetable up for construction to start in 2029. I think this was at least 10 years out before previously, so it's a little bit closer. Also, I don't know if any of you have gone to the food festival, the food truck. It's every Sunday from 5 to 10 p.m. It's across from City Hall. It's been a huge success. They've had about, at least for two days, they had over 7,000 people attend. They have anywhere from 23 to 30 food trucks, all types of food. It's free to go in. It is a great community festival that everyone can go. There's tables and chairs, it's lit, and a lot of really good food feedback. We are going to be looking at extending this. It's supposed to end July 18th. We're going to look at extending it and maybe even making it permanent over there. Okay, and then I think that is all that I have. So just look for that meeting, that community meeting, so you can come and give me feedback on a lot of these issues, because Sunset Crossroads is going to affect us. One more thing on Sunset Crossroads that I insisted on is when they come out, if it was built, they cannot turn right and go through Sun Lakes Boulevard, our existing homes. They would have to make a left and back to Sunset. And in the specific plan, it actually says that that's a requirement. The question is, how do you enforce it? How do you make that stick? So, you know, you can set up concrete barriers and things like that to force them to go left, because it's not acceptable at all to go through our community with the trucks. Also, I'm on a 2x2 committee for truck routes with Beaumont, and they agree with us that Sun Lakes Boulevard up to Highland Home should not be a truck route. They will not approve a truck route, and neither will we. And for one thing, it can't handle trucks. It's not been built for trucks to begin with. So anyways, there's a lot of positive things going on. We have one more meeting July 8th, and then we go dark until August 19th. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Mr. President, we're ready for the presentation.
I thought so. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Master Board, residents. My name is Michelle Walter, and as you know, we have an Employee of the Month. So our Employee for the month of May is Chelsea Osborne. Main Clubhouse front receptionist, Chelsea has proven herself to be an outstanding in her role and has become an invaluable asset to the Recreation Department. In addition to her primary responsibilities, she consistently goes above and beyond, offering assistance to other departments with a positive attitude. There are regular compliments from residents about Chelsea's helpfulness, kindness, and warm welcome. She is always professional, friendly, and genuinely caring. Even when she doesn't have an immediate answer, Chelsea ensures she follows up and finds solutions to any issues that arise. Her dedication, professionalism, and warm personality make her more than deserving of this recognition. We are proud to give Chelsea the Employee of the Month for May and a Visa gift card for her outstanding job performance.
Well deserved.
Thank you, Michelle. Congratulations, Chelsea. Well done. Gary, Treasurer's report, sir?
Jason, can you help me out here? Thank you. Gary Burkle, Sun Lakes Treasurer. This is a report on the May financial statements. Go over a little recap here for May. It sort of tells you what happened in May and where we stand at the end of May. So we had a loss in May of $19,962. But on the other hand, year to date, we have a surplus of $368,379. So I think that's positive. At the end of May, the operating fund cash account was $985,991. May outstanding bills, we still have a lot of bills. We have bills to the city of Banning, some very large bills, and we have an outstanding bill with First Service, but the amount of that bill at the end of May was $589,539, which is an improvement from where it's been on average in the past. We still have, when you add in cash and receivables, which is the money we have to pay bills, we still have $255,594 more in bills than receivables and cash to pay the bills. But I will tell you that we did get a check for $1,663,000 in June, and so that was an incentive from Spectrum, and obviously that's money that's going to go into our operating fund account. And we're setting aside that money in a separate account. Thank you. Well, thank all the board who worked hard to make that happen. That money's going to be separately invested, set aside in a separate operating fund account, and we're going to obviously be very careful on how we use that money because we like the idea of having a cushion in our operating fund account. This is an overview. As I said, there was $19,000. If you're paying attention to our financial statement, that's a little bit different than what was published in the financial statements. But let me just go through this. The month of May, the top line is the dues that come in. Then there's other revenue from rental things, the RV lot and things like that. So the dues were $1,087,068. That is just part of the dues. Another part goes in the reserve fund. There's around $220,000 that goes into the reserve fund. As you can see over on the right, then the middle column is a year-to-date where we stand, and you can see at the bottom line there, that's the 368 surplus that we have through the end of May. The areas that in the right that are not favorable when it comes to budget, on utilities, because we were late signing the contract with Spectrum, there was sort of a misalign in our budget, and I think when the new contract monthly amount gets put in place, and plus, really the incentive payment that we received from Spectrum is also income to us. Interestingly, we've got an opinion from our CPA, and it's not taxable income, so we won't have to pay tax on it, and that's good news. And it will then also be amortized over the term of the contract, picked up as income, if you can follow all that. But as you can see at the bottom here, food and beverage is still a challenge. CCL's making the transition. We had costs during a period where both First Service was closed and CCL was closed. So we'll have another report on food and beverage, but that's still being worked on. This is just a comparison of where we stand over the last 3 years, surplus-wise or net income-wise, and you can see we're doing pretty good compared to last year, really good. And like I said, we have a $368,000 surplus as of the end of May. This is just a graphic to show, I don't show the balance sheet, so to speak, here. These are the critical accounts that make up the balance sheet: cash, accounts receivable. I mean, those are really the amounts that we have to pay bills, and then the bill. And it shows kind of the direction, and it has been true historically that the first part of the year, we always have better cash position because we get a lot of payments up front from golfers. In January, we get their annual payments, and believe it or not, some residents pay their whole their HOA dues for the whole year at the beginning of the year, which I always find surprising. This is just an overview of the repair and replacement fund. At the bottom there, highlighted in yellow, we had $12,920,000 in the reserve fund at the end of May. We had some large expenditures. You can see for the month there's $680,000 of expenditures. Most of that is the contract for street repair. That's over $500,000 that was a payable and incurred in May. So that's the repair and replacement fund. This is a capital fund. Really was no activity in there. At the end of May, we had $1,335,000 in the capital improvement fund. Anyway, that's the report. Thank you all. Call me if you have a question or send me an email. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Rachel, would you like to give us an update from CCL?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Master Board and members. I just wanted to once again thank you for continuing to use our feedback kiosks and providing your feedback to us through the Message Food and Beverage on the website. We greatly appreciate it. We're continuing to compile all of those, all that feedback and putting it into practice and making some changes to better serve you. I'm happy to report that by the end of July, we'll be ready to start offering gift cards for sale for food and beverage. So once those come in, I'll make sure that there's an announcement out and you'll be able to purchase gift cards for use in the food and beverage department. And starting on July 1st, from 7 to 8:30 in the morning, we're gonna be offering grab-and-go burritos and sandwiches in the Sand Wedge that you can buy directly from the bartender. And also take a look in the July Lifestyles magazine for a great coupon to save on a drink during a morning happy hour from 7 to 8 a.m. We are really trying to increase participation at the breakfast hour, and we're hoping that all those golfers out there on the putting green between 7 and 8 will come in and grab a quick bite and a drink before they get their tea time. So more to come on that, and please, we'd love to see you at breakfast time in the Sand Wedge. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Committee reports and recommendations. This is the time during the meeting where committees are invited to update the community on any news that they feel is important for the community to know about. I'd like to add that this was a suggestion that the committees made, and but in the month of July is the third month since we started this program, and the committees will all be making presentations in the month of July. The 3 months in between, it's as needed to keep the community informed, but don't forget, starting in July, all committees will be doing their normal report to the community. If there are any committees who would like to make comments or presentations, please feel free to attend the podium and do so. If there are more, please join behind and get ready.
Whoa. That was set for you, wasn't it, Michelle? Doug Swenson, Common Area Advisory Committee. Just want to let everybody know that we do our monthly inspections, and we look at everything, but we can't see everything. And we look at all the facilities, we look at all the common areas, and we report back to management, and they take it upon themselves to correct those shortcomings. But obviously, shortcomings are not all observed by our committee members. We miss some things every once in a while, and I'd like to make sure that everybody knows that, and that if you see something, and I had that even just already this afternoon, if you see something that you think isn't right, give me a call, one of the committee members a call, and we will address it immediately. We just want to make sure that nothing is falling through the cracks, and this continues to look as nice as we want it to look. So, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
My name is Evelyn Hawkins, and I'm Vice Chair of the Recreation Committee. And we would just like to remind everybody that the 4th of July is coming up, and we have our big parade. And there's flyers, and you can register in the main clubhouse at the front desk with Chelsea. And we'd like to see all of you participate. We're going to have games. We're going to have a lot of fun things, and it's a good time to bring your families.
Thank you.
Well, I know I'm taller than that. Michelle Walter, Marketing Committee. We had our advisory meeting yesterday. We are still working on our real estate brochure. It's coming along. We've done a little tweaks to it. We made some changes, and it's almost completed. And hopefully it'll be ready by our next meeting. So I'm hoping everything will be done. Our next welcome home is on July 24th, 5 o'clock in the ballroom. If you are a club or a group that would like to be included in our welcome home, please contact me and we will have a table set up for you. This is a great way to meet new homeowners and get them involved in your clubs or groups. The following are the stats on the home sales in Sun Lakes from June 1st to the 24th. Active or coming soon, 75 homes. Actually, it's 15 condos, prices $299 to $372. 60 homes, prices $330 to $559. In escrow, there's one condo, $357,500. 19 homes, prices $324,900 to $559,900. Closed escrows, so far, there's 7 homes and 1 condo. Prices from $325 to $565, 1 condo price at $330. So if you take the 23 times 8, that is $18,480, depending if they were all new home buyers. In May, 14 closed, so a total of $32,340 went into our replenishment replacement fund. Gary. Thank you.
She wants Gary to know.
Thank you for the update.
Mr. President, if we can have a point of order, just to, it appears we skipped something in the agenda, item 4, which was executive session actions. Jason is feeling left out.
I'm sorry, Jason.
It's all right. It's all right. Good afternoon, everyone. This report will give the community an update on actions that were taken by the board at their executive session meetings that were held on June 9th, June 11th, June 16th, and June 25th, at which time litigation, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personal matters were discussed. With member matters, the board approved the house accounts receivable as of May 31st, as well as the assessment accounts receivable as of May 31st, 2025. The board reviewed one show cause hearing. The board reviewed a safety committee appeal. The board met with a member at the member's request. The board approved the delinquency report. The board reviewed one member request for a payment plan. The board reviewed a few letters from members. The board reviewed a request for an extension from a member. The board met with the delegate ad hoc committee to give them board direction on the survey. The board met with a member at the board's request. With legal, the board reviewed and approved the executive session minutes from May 28th and June 9th. The board received several updates from legal. The board reviewed parliamentary procedures. The board reviewed and filed the 2024 taxes. The board received money from Spectrum and for now has put it into a separate account so they can decide what to do with it, as Gary spoke on earlier. The board approved to send the following to the collections attorney to begin the foreclosure process, and that is on APN 440-061-041. The board approved to continue with the foreclosure on a property, and the board reviewed a judgment renewal and decided to close the case. With formation of contracts, the board received several updates from the management company and discussed a number of projects. The board met with CCL. The board met and discussed third-party contracts. The board reviewed and approved the artistic maintenance contract for 2025-2026. The board approved the contract with WeatherTrack for the common area irrigation controllers. The board approved the use of a new vendor for chemicals on the golf course. The board reviewed and approved getting construction costs for the renovation of the back 9 bunkers on the championship course. The board approved moving forward with Casey O'Callahan for the redesign of a few T bunkers on the championship course. The board approved moving forward with the clock tower and brick program to pay for it, and this will be discussed by Director Ganino later on this evening, or this afternoon. The board approved smart properties for the 2026 reserve study and met with them again to clear up a few questions. The board met and discussed insurance with an insurance broker. The board received and filed the project activity report, as well as the investment activity report. And finally, the board reviewed and approved the May to June narrative analytics from Securitas, and these will be put on the website. And also, the board is working with Securitas and the Safety Committee on a major incident report to present to the community. And that completes the executive action report.
Thank you, Jason.
A lot going on.
The board has received a letter from the RV Storage Advisory Committee requesting 5 items for discussion and approval. The first item is the committee recommends, due to the lack of timely monitoring of our existing cameras, that the master board should consider additional improvements to our security. Motion detection with an alert alarm, extend the height of the field wall. Like to pass this to Joe and respond to where we're at with that.
Good afternoon. The RV lot currently, the RV advisory group are requesting some of these items. I'm working on a security plan right now that would entail a fiber optic system around the entire RV lot. Now, this system is used by the Department of Defense, it's used in large companies, it's used on the border of the United States with Canada. It's a fiber optic system that would be attached to the fence line into the wall, and this system would tie into our current alarm system that we have on property, and would alert the alarm center within 7 feet of an intrusion. Because it's attached to the wall or on top of the brick, it's basically something that an animal cannot set off. A human being would have to set it off. So I think with regard to raising the height of the fence, there's new technology to where we don't have to go up, we just have to go smart. So we received the bid on the cost, and we're next week meeting with the installer to find out what the install prices will be. So we should have something next month more concrete to share with you all.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to, I guess we would table this, Chris, until the project is finalized?
You can table it and then come back and give a report at the following meeting once it's been finalized.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. The second item requested, the committee encourages the master board to communicate, confirm to the present holders of RV leases, licenses, and policies that will govern the lease license applications and renewals. Basically, the board has reviewed this in executive session, and we'd like to open it for discussion here to explain and vote on what we feel is the correct response to the question. I need a motion to discuss.
I'll make a motion
Do I have a
that we
second?
update the renewal process for the 2026 current leases.
Joe, you seconded that?
I did, I second.
All in favor? Aye. So basically, this discussion is related to a process that was kind of looked into as far as how we measure the spaces and how we allocate the cost to residents in the lot. We have reviewed this, and at the last at the last RV meeting, we did share with the committee the recommendations and the direction that we were going to be going with. And basically, there will be, going forward, if approved tonight, there'll be a cost per site, and the measurement of those sites are not what's directly going to dictate the cost. We're starting off with the 2024 original pricing structure for the spaces. In 2026, depending upon economics, we will start any increases that might be developed based off of that structure, not the one that's in place right now. And I believe that was clearly explained in the committee meeting. But if anybody has any other comments, board?
No.
Residents, would you like to make any comments? Go ahead, Dave.
Dave Puckett, Chair of the RV Lot Committee. You mentioned in our meeting, you discussed that and explained that.
Yes.
And I have a question. When we talk about, it's later down our recommendations, the pull-through spots. Now, the pull-through spots, starting in March, they made those separate, there's 2 spots to a pull-through. And they made them separate. So and we recommended going back to the 2 spots being 1 spot. So is it gonna be 1 spot that the pricing is gonna be to? I mean, the full 2 spots?
That is number 5 on your request. We
Yes.
haven't got to that yet, but
We're on number
we're
I know,
on,
but
we're on 2.
I know, but when you start talking about pricing the spots,
Right.
then, I have to ask the question about the pull-through spots.
Yeah, we'll explain that when we get to that as well.
Okay, can I ask another question that Joe
course.
pointed out?
Sure.
Joe, you mentioned about the fiber optics, and you specifically said the RV lot. Is that what you're looking at, or I've heard talk about it being the whole facility, I mean, all of Sun Lakes, but are you specifically looking at just the RV lot?
Well, in this instance, we're addressing the RV lot, but to answer your question, it's the entire north property and a portion of the south property as well.
In addition to the RV lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's my question.
Thank you, Dave. Item number 3, the committee requests that when the master board allows residents to store vehicles other than recreational vehicles in the RV storage lot, that specific language be used in their month-to-month lease to indicate the lease will be terminated when the site is needed for recreation vehicle. This was discussed and in executive session, and we're bringing it forward tonight for further discussion and a vote on going forward. Can I have a motion to review for discussion?
Make a motion to review for discussion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Basically, this involves the ability for residents with passenger vehicles to use that spot while there's vacancies not being filled by recreational vehicles. In the last RV committee meeting, it was expressed that the advisory committee was really not in favor of going forward with that. They would like to maintain the RV status as RV status in the lot. And the discussion tonight would be whether we want to, going forward, maintain the RV status for the requirement for vehicles going into that lot. Not sure I explained that clearly enough, but it's important to the committee. They've done a great job of watching the spaces in there, the vacancies. They've done a good job of maintaining the quality of the unit and those vehicles coming in. And the committee feels that it's important that it's an RV storage lot, not a general storage lot. And I'd like to open that up for comments to the board.
Well, currently, passenger vehicles are allowed there. We had an ADR situation, and it was approved by the person involved in that ADR dispute. I think what they're asking for is in the future. So I think it's a good proposal for in the future, that if somebody wants to put a passenger vehicle in there, we're going to say no, you know, but we're going to allow the ones that are currently there to remain there. That's my understanding.
It's my understanding as well.
Mine as well.
And the ones that are there now are on a month-to-month, 30-day, is my understanding.
Yes.
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 Okay.
And if the space is needed, then they would give up their space in favor of the recreational vehicle. But I think we have, what, 7 vacancies right now, Dave? It's down to 6, so it's filling up. So I think it's appropriate to vote on this. Can somebody make a motion to approve this going forward, that the RV lot will be maintained and supported by recreational vehicles, not passenger
I
vehicles?
make a motion from this day forward that we maintain the integrity of the RV lot to rent solely to RV vehicles.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let's see here. Number 4, the committee recommends increasing nightly patrols of the lot to more than 1 or eliminating them altogether and spending the money on extending the height of the field wall. I believe that we probably answered that question, but I'd like to make a motion for discussion and approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that will all be covered when the security contract is reviewed with new technology. The committee, number 5, the committee recommends that the pull-through sites continue to have 2 site numbers assigned to them, but that they are listed as a single entry on the RV lot printouts. I'd like to open that up for discussion. Would somebody like to make a motion? A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. This is, I believe, what you were referring to, right, Dave? Yes. Okay. So the sites presently are sequentially numbered as individual sites. The single sites are that way, and the two that most people with large rigs take to is also numbered sequentially. There's nothing in any of the plans or rules at this point to state that those have to be dedicated to double ownership. If we had a situation where we had vacancies and there were no other spots to put somebody, we do have the ability to lease those out separately as individual sites. If we were to do that, the individually identified numbers, the sequential numbers, would make sense because they're in the correct order. So the question is, does the board feel that we should maintain these as two separate numbers, or should we combine them on the RV lot printout? Okay. Discussion?
I believe that we should keep it the way it is currently, keep our options open. There's no reason to restripe and repaint. That costs HOA money that I don't think at this time is necessary to do. I think that having the option to go to a single, if a double's available and we can sell a single or two singles out of it, I think we should, it's just the numbers on the ground, guys. So I just think we should leave it the way it is.
I agree. It should be left alone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Let's see here. There are no proposed changes from the delegate assembly at this time, so we'll touch base on projects here. Spectrum update. I guess I'd ask Jason, at the last meeting, there were questions regarding some communication misunderstandings from Spectrum. We requested an update and some clarity to the flyers that were distributed, and you requested them to redo that because it wasn't the level of detail that we felt we needed. Have we received any update from Spectrum?
We did, and what I ended up doing is doctoring their document with the answer to the questions that I've been getting from homeowners. So that went out in an e-blast last week and posted on the website, and you'll see kind of in that two-page document, you'll see larger wording, and that's the answers to the questions I've been getting about your DVR, the extra cost, the phone number that you have to call, and things of that nature. So please check that out. I also know that they were making copies here to put in the lobby. So make sure you check those out if you have any questions on Spectrum.
Thank you. Just to follow up on Gary's comment that we did receive the $1,663,000 check, and that it is being deposited, has been deposited into a separate account, operating account, and that we will be reviewing recommendations from management on short-term investments for that money. And in addition, as a little bit of extra protection, as requested by at least one resident, distribution of these funds out of the separate account will require the approval of the master board. So I think everybody should be happy that we've got the money, it's in the operating account, and that it'll be generating some income for us in short-term investments. Security update, Mike?
Good afternoon, Master Board, residents. My name is Mike. I'm your Director of Security here at Sun Lakes. Right now I'm going to do a reporting period for March 15th through June 15th. Thank you for having me today. I'm here to provide an overview of our security operations over the past 90 days. Our goal, as always, is to ensure the community remains safe, secure, and well monitored at all times. Basically, I'll break down the major incidents, and this is going to be the detailed breakdown, which you're going to be able to see online as well. So we recorded a total of 202 major incidents over a 90-day period, reporting period. And this is how that breakdown is going to be taken down. So we had suspicious activity. We had 46 incidents within that time frame. This remains the most common category. These cases often involved unidentified persons or vehicles after hour movements or unusual behavior. In each case, our team responded, assessed, and documented the event thoroughly. Visibility and resident reporting continue to be vital in catching these incidents as early as possible. Gate-related incidents, we had a total of 55. This includes 14 inoperable gates. These incidents are reported and sent to maintenance for immediate repairs. Our findings concluded that these are due to wear and tear over the time that the gates are being operated. 5 gates that were physically damaged, 36 cases of gates being left unlocked or otherwise unsecured. These issues represent both technical failures or human error. We've tightened our gate patrol protocols and continue to report all gate issues immediately so they can be addressed before they present a larger risk. This includes recent issues that we've been having with our RFID tag readers that we are currently in the process of getting fixed this week through our third company, Party Automation Pride. So we're fully aware. We appreciate your guys' patience. We are getting these things resolved as soon as possible. We had police called. We had a total of 3 incidents. 1 incident per month which requires outside law enforcement response, which reflects a low consistent involvement. This demonstrates that while we manage most issues internally, we do act quickly when outside help is warranted. Facility problems, we had 31 incidents. This category includes minor issues such as infrastructure, malfunctioning equipment, potential hazards, safety concerns. These reports are shared with the appropriate departments for prompt resolution. We do work hand in hand with the administration team to make sure that these matters get resolved in the facilities immediately. Property damage, we had a total of 14, ranging from minor damage to significant repairs. All cases were investigated and recorded to determine the cause and accountability. When I say accountability, this would be including any gate arm incidents. I know we've got our new gate arms, so we are holding those that are damaging our gate arms accountable. So rest assured that we're going to be closely monitoring our cameras and making sure that if any damage is done, those individuals are going to be held accountable. Trespassing, we had 7 incidents. All trespassing reports were addressed immediately by patrol, reported accordingly. These often occur near common areas or unsecured entry points. Confrontations, we had 6 incidents. These involved verbal disputes or altercations. Each case, our officers responded professionally and de-escalated when needed. Our key goal is to always de-escalate and try to remain as calm as possible to make sure that we take care of the issues right away. Welfare checks, we had 10 incidents, often initiated by concerned neighbors or family members. These calls reflect the community-minded nature of our residents and the responsive support of our patrol staff. Medical emergencies, we had 7 incidents. Security provided immediate response, assisting until emergency medical service arrived. Theft occurrences, we had 5 incidents. These were isolated and involved property left unattended or unsecured. In each instance, our team conducted follow-up patrols and log details to support any follow-up investigation, along with working along with Banning PD to continue their investigation on that as well. Trends and analysis, we are seeing a positive trend in overall incident volume. Our incidents have decreased steadily month over month. We're looking from 706 in mid-March to 427 in mid-June. Minor incidents like parking violations or open garage doors are declining, which may reflect improved community awareness and resident cooperation. Major incidents remain relatively stable, with only a slight uptick in May through June, largely driven by gate-related concerns and suspicious activity. What's the key takeaway from all this? We're looking at Fridays and Saturdays being one of our most highest volumes of activity per date. So our team increases visibility and rounds accordingly on these peak days. The gates remain our most active locations, specifically gates 1, 2, 5, and 6. Other areas like Carnoustie, Riviera, and the main clubhouse also receive targeted attention due to repetitive activity. So my team's going to be continuing to work along with me and the administration team and the board to highlight as many issues that we can, and with the community's cooperation as well. We are seeing a lot of reports coming in, so we appreciate that. In summary, our data shows that Sun Lakes remains a safe and responsive community. Your security team is active, present, and ready. We're responding quickly, we're documenting thoroughly, and adjusting patrol strategies based on the trends and concerns that are coming here through Sun Lakes. If you guys have any questions or issues for me, feel free to reach me via email. I am accessible to you guys 24 hours. Thank you.
Hi, Mike. You guys did a really great job modifying the reports, but I don't see them posted here. Are they posted online and I don't see them on this TV?
I
Or
will
did we not
follow
bring
up.
them?
I'll follow up with Hernan on that to see if we can get those reports out, and I'll touch base with
Yeah,
Chris and Jason
You
as well.
basically have 3 summary reports that really highlight some of the numbers that you're going through, and I think it'd be beneficial for the residents to see those at
Absolutely.
future meetings.
I will work with
I
Hernan
think
to
you
get
have
those
3
out.
of them that are worthy of sharing.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Of course.
Mike, stay there for a minute.
Go ahead, Joe.
I just have a comment. Thank you for what you and your company do. Me and Dawn have met with the other 3 55 and older communities in the past. It's a personal, we are so far superior currently in our security and the safety in this property because of what you people do. The other properties are having lots of problems. Now, when we were able to clear up the homeless problem, thank you, Michelle, it's made a tremendous difference on the north side. And the products and the services we're going to work to complement what you do, I truly feel that we're moving in the right direction and it's only going to get better. So I just want to say thank you. And the reporting has been really, really good.
We appreciate it, and we're here for the board as much as we can. I'd always encourage my officers to add their personal touch and their professionalism, and that's what we're here to do. We take pride in what we do for the community.
This isn't the time or the place, but when they patrol the pools on the weekend, have them check the ice machine.
Yeah.
People are starting to keep their personal sodas up and inside the ice machine.
I'll make note of
Sorry, I
that.
had to bring that up.
I'm on it. I got
Is
you.
it just sodas?
Road sodies.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Mike. Next item, Procurement Committee update. Basically, the board has reviewed our advisory committee successes in the past and challenges on making it effective, and the board has decided to not go with an advisory committee per se at this point. The decision is that we are going to form a board team that will be focused on a few critical projects that need to be implemented. And that is in the process of being developed. And as we have more information on how that's going to work and a plan, that will be communicated to residents. But it's a number of projects, major projects, that we'd like to actually kick up the heat on and get them going and focus on them. So that's the intent of this new board team. It'll get full support of the board. Parliamentary procedures, that has been drafted. There's a draft of that. It's presently being reviewed by legal before we can implement it, but that has moved along. The governance policy, the primary focus on governance policy implementation right now is to get everybody, all the committee charters done, get them to the board so we can work with the committees in finalizing those. So you got good, clear direction and support and an updated document. The Sun Lakes website review, that was a project that at one point the district delegates indicated that they were interested in looking into. And basically right now, we're not sure whether they would still be interested in doing that project or not. So that is a pending project now, depending upon the interest level of the delegate in the marketing assembly. Gary, can you give us an update on HOA insurance, where we're at with that?
Well, insurance, as you know, is a challenging issue for our community. The board and part of the ad hoc committee that is forming is going to work on insurance. We are finding that our situation is maybe unique in some ways in that we're being rated by NorCal Insurance, NorCal Fire as a fire risk, high risk district, and it's putting limitations on our ability to get insurance companies that are willing to deal with our association. At least that's our understanding. Our approach is to, and I guess I have to say on top of that, we haven't been real happy with our current insurance broker. Maybe there's some miscommunication there, but we've decided to talk to other brokers. This morning we had a presentation from Gallagher. Gallagher is a very large, if not one, well, it's probably the third largest insurance brokerage company in the world. And from various sources, including our attorney, they are recommended for our association, or at least one of the recommendations for our association. So we had a presentation from them this morning that was focused on getting to know them and what they might offer. There's a lot of concern in terms of the approach when you go out to look for insurance, because the insurance market, even though it's huge, it can be tight-knit, so we have to be careful how we approach it. We will be talking to at least one other broker. We would love to be able to make a transition to whereby we change our premium period, because right now our period is on a calendar year, and it makes it very difficult because we finish our budget in October and we don't get the renewal for our insurance until November. And that became particularly disturbing this past year, because what we received was a couple $100,000 increase in our insurance. So we're looking at options to change our premium period so it ends in September, so that we can get our insurance premiums update increases in time for budgeting. But anyway, that's maybe more than you wanted to know, but that's what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we continue, I'd like to take a step back for a minute. There was a change after the last agenda went out regarding marketing, and a position that would showed interest in joining the Marketing Advisory Committee. That would be Jean Dobson. She has been requested to be approved by the board. Her expiration date would be 12/31/26. I'd like to make a motion to approve Jean Dobson to the Marketing Committee.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Second?
Bob has a
Aye.
All
second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry for that mess-up. Finance Advisory Committee Reserve Reporting Update. Sandra, maybe you could give us an update on those two items.
Am I on? Yeah. So the first item is implementation of smart property software. We have talked to you and have expressed a desire to do improved reserve reporting against what's planned for the year in those items and what the actual spend is, which has been done on Excel. So the question was asked, is there technology that can help us? And FSR has said, yes, there is. And that's the smart property software. This company would take over our reserve study, and it becomes what they call a living document rather than something that's printed out. It's electronic in the software. It gives us the capability of tracking expenses against the planned items. It gives you the ability to look out 10 years and see then out of the study what your planned expenses are. You can have a year with, we may spend $3 to $5 million a year. You have some year with 10 million planned. How do we level load that and move the items around? And then, photos of what those components are a click in the software. So really easy access to the details, and then tracking expenses, and then giving you the ability to level load your expenses and move things around to maintain a percent funded. So this is something the board's really excited about moving forward with, so we'll have more information going forward. But I think we have a contract close to being approved. So that's good news. And then the second item is improved financial reporting in compliance with the Davis-Sterling Civil Code 5500. And so Gary and I are, as co-liaisons to the Finance Advisory Committee, which is chaired by Mary Jo McElwain, are working to develop checklists, is what we'll call them, regarding bank and cash reconciliations, various balance sheet accounts, so reviewing schedules for amortization or liability accounts, and then also a checklist for our income statements. And so that's comparing actuals to budget, and then also looking at trends over the last 12 months. And taking that evaluation and engaging the members of the FAC in these working sessions, and then creating questions to management, which we've been doing now the last several months, sending those to Chris, and he researches that, brings that back to the FAC. And we're continuing to work with FSR to increase our understanding of accounting processes that they have, so we know who to turn to. And then taking that evaluation each month and distilling that into a few key material points that we want the board to be aware of, and being able to have a brief conversation each month as we gain familiarity and get a little rhythm going with the board in this presentation. So that's work we're doing with the FAC, which for us numbers people is also really exciting. And Gary, is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think that covers it. I think so.
Okay. Food and beverage transition, where we're at with that. Gary, is there anything you'd like to add regarding the transition?
We're in transition.
Okay.
Really, is it?
Thank you, Jason.
Jason.
This is basically an update. The hours of operation that CCL has begun with on April 7th is still in place. They've made a very aggressive schedule. Sandwich, as an example, 7 days a week, 7 to 7. Residents came out during April in large numbers, with projected sales for the first month actually was achieved in only 3 weeks. As we've discussed before, there was some downtime towards the end of March for the transition, and we did not actually start operations April 1st. We did that on April 7th. CCL continues to make changes and improvements in the menu selection and developing the customer service. And now residents have begun to settle into their regular schedules and participation, resulting in certain times on some days being quite slow, primarily in the morning hours, early morning. And as Rachel said, they're taking some action to try to encourage some sales participation from golfers by giving some quick meals that they can get, don't have to come in, sit down, order, pay. They can come in, grab and go with some food, and we're excited to see how that works out. And CCL is studying the statistics. You know, you give them a lot of information through Happy or Not. They also get a lot of information out of the POS system on what hours people coming in, what's the busy times, the slow times. So they're analyzing those statistics so that we can balance the labor efficiently while maintaining customer service. What can residents do to help? Obviously, if you have a large party coming in to the venues, please give the CCL a heads up. Please make a reservation so that they're not surprised when a whole bunch of decent-sized groups come, and we need to make sure that that's available. It'll make increased volume, but it's nice to give them a heads up when you're coming, if you can. Bottom line is, keep coming. Participation from residents is what's going to make food and beverage at Sun Lake successful. CCL is also very interested in expanding catering and banquet events, which will increase the volume. There's a lot more information that will be coming about incentivized pricing for different type of banquets that we could offer to residents. So be patient, that will be coming. But the balance of labor to residents' participation is a balancing act and will develop over time with your continued and expanded support from residents. So please be patient through this process, and please come out and participate. It's pretty important. Thank you.
I just would like to add, can I step
Sure.
in here, or you're still going?
No, I'm done.
Well, I just want to, the CCL just last week had a welcome event, and it was amazing. I think they had 700 people, if I get my numbers right, but and even if they're not, the point is that amazingly, we saw a lot of people that came into our venues that we haven't seen before, or at least I hadn't seen them before. So, I think CCL put on a wonderful event. Hopefully those people come back and visit us again. But other things, I mean, there's been a challenge in the labor situation, transitioning things. So I just want to compliment CCL on the job they're doing, because it is challenging here to try and basically tailor a food and beverage operation to a community like ours. So anyway, I believe they are doing a great job. It's really just a matter of our residents responding to what CCL's doing, so.
Thank you, Gary. That's an important point. Demographic survey. Carly, would you like to give us an update on that?
You can say no.
Okay, no problem.
Work in progress, right?
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Okay.
Or are you just tired? Okay.
Didn't want to ignore you back there, so that's fine. Real quick dog park update for June. The dog owners groups comprise about 143 dog owners. 25 to 35 owners presently are getting together in the common areas based on the information that we receive from the group. Management has provided the board with a data package going back all the way to 2014. And it includes a lot of the data and the work that was done by previous boards. I think previous boards have made numerous attempts at trying to find an appropriate location, and I think it's been pretty clear from all of those, as well as the most recent one that was done, there is not a location within the community that residents would support. Going back to 2015, a resident survey was taken by district delegates, and it showed 79% of the people responding opposed the dog park, while 190 or 21% approved building a dog park. So the boards agreed to take one last look at the dog park in the vacant land above Breckenridge, and we're acquiring bids for some of that work to convert that area into a fenced, grassed, secure location for a dog park. And Jason, if you can go one more. So a question should be included on the demographic survey that will be coming out to residents regarding funding of the area above Breckenridge. So far, initial cost quotes from Artistic Maintenance indicate the cost could start at about $106,000. And the board would still need to determine any monthly operating cost and insurance cost. Rules and regulations would need to be developed. And depending upon the upcoming survey results, the board is willing to look at putting the question to a vote of membership in April. So we're excited about the option. We're researching it extensively so we can make a presentation to the community. We're trying to find a place for a dog park, and that appears to be the only solid location for doing that. So that's the update on the dog park, and we'd like to open the meeting to resident comments at this point. Marcia, would you like to begin? After Marcia, will be Joan Burke.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for you. I was back there. Marcia Midget in District 9. I want to talk a little bit about the financial reports. on the May financial report, I didn't see any expenses listed under restaurant and lounge. So please correct me if I'm wrong, though. It's my understanding that Sun Lakes provides free rent and utilities to CCL and pays them the subsidy for the food and beverage operation, plus any losses that are incurred in any given month. Don't have to answer now. How does the board know what the losses are above and beyond the members' monthly subsidy of $58,053 if there are no financials produced each month? In May, the food and beverage expenses were $64,880, which was $9,827 more than the budget monthly subsidy. Unfortunately, there's no detail noted as to where the areas of concerns are because there's no expenses listed on the financials. So will CCL provide the detailed monthly expenses and revenues each month going forward? If not, I'd like to understand what exactly the contract states about financial reports, covers, and any other expenses that are CCL's responsibilities and what Sun Lake's responsibilities are. Can you cover this in more detail at the next open session, or better yet, have a town hall for all interested members that would like to understand the financial side of the food and beverage operation with CCL? Thank you.
I could try to answer as much as I can right now. As everything else with food and beverage, we're in a transition right now. Our contract does require or states that CCL will provide a profit and loss statement monthly in a format that we agreed to together. We're working on that. The big difference is how CCL operates compared to how FSR operated. FSR was an agent of Sun Lakes, meaning that everything they did was in the name of Sun Lakes, which made things fairly easy from a financial reporting standpoint. When it comes to CCL, they operate completely separately. All of their financial operation goes through them, and they bill us on a monthly basis for the subsidy. So really, in the end, all we get is a pre-bill at the beginning of the month and a true-up bill at the end of the month. What has happened is, because we are reviewing those bills carefully, they have been delayed in getting into our monthly financial reports. If you'll notice, if you look carefully, our net loss that was reported in May, that I just reported, is greater than what was reported in the financial statement. And the reason that is because the last bill that we got from CCL for May got to us late. And obviously, we wanted to review that bill carefully, work with CCL on, why it was that amount. And so it did get in late, and so then I adjusted the loss, which you saw in my financial report. So anyway, I don't know if that answers your question, but I'll be happy to meet with you and talk anything you want about our financial situation.
And you'll have additional information next month.
I appreciate that, but are we going to get more details about the expenses like we have gotten before in future reports? Or are we going to just get one solid number and say this is it? And how do you know when you are getting that? Granted, you're looking
Marcia,
at that,
let me
but nobody else
answer your
is.
question. You jump from one question to the next. The answer to your first question that you just asked is yes, we are going to get more information. As I said, our contract with them says that they will deliver a profit and loss statement by the 10th business day, and it's going to be in a format that we agree on. And I want a detailed P&L.
Okay.
That's, so.
And will that be
I'm
included
not-
in the financial statement each month?
Ultimately, that's what I want. I apologize to everybody that we haven't gotten it so far. But, and I appreciate your question. I'm not arguing with you, Marcia.
Yeah, I know.
agree
I
with you.
get that.
I agree with you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Joan?
Good afternoon. My name is Joan Burke, and I am the chairperson for the Dog Owners Group. I wanted to address a couple of things. First of all, I love Sun Lakes. I've been here for 10 years, and I have no plans of leaving. And I love dogs. I love all of our dogs, and we've got 2,000 of them or more here in Sun Lakes. What I would like to say is that 4 years ago, I started with a meeting with Chris Mitchell, which evolved into allowing me to present to the then board my dream of having dog parks here in Sun Lakes. And we dreamed of having 4 dog parks, smaller dog parks, not huge, but small dog parks where people could go in their neighborhood and let their dog run up and down the run, throw a ball maybe, and then take them home. That went by the wayside, and we were told, well, let's concentrate on one. And working on one, I've been told that there's absolutely no place here in Sun Lakes to put a park. And yet when I look around, I see so many opportunities here. But I know that nobody wants to disgruntle any of our residents, but it may happen, I don't know. But overall, what I want to say is that my dream for a park was to have 4 parks here, and that has turned into 1. My dream for a park was that it would be centrally located to the neighborhoods that it served, and that it would be accessible to the disabled. We have a lot of disabled people here who love their dogs, and they can't go out. And they can't make it up to Breckenridge, Don. So they need to have it accessible. But we don't want to spend $100,000 on a dog park. We don't want to spend $1 million on a lounge. We want an inexpensive, put up a fence, let us call it a dog park, and put our dogs in there. Let the dogs socialize and let them go home. When we meet for an hour a day, or an hour, actually it's half an hour during the week. When we have a party for the dogs, it's an hour. It's 1 hour. And that's it. And then everybody, in our group we have 140 people. But that doesn't mean that that's the only people that would use the dog parks. There are big dogs that don't like to be around little dogs. And most of our dogs are little. Did I go over? Are you shutting me down, Jason? Am I ranting and raving here? What I'd like to say, I guess, is that, Dawn, the park up on Breckenridge, it's not centrally located. It's not safe for our disabled people. It's not safe for humans, much less our dogs. And at this point, I would like to say that the Dog Owners Group, myself, and other people who I have discussed this with, I sent out notices to everybody, and I got feedback. We don't want Breckenridge. We don't want our name on Breckenridge. We don't want to try to clean it up, because it's a mess up there. What we do want is to continue as we've been doing. We will meet in the social area, or the common areas with our dogs. We will honor your request to not put up a temporary fence, to not let the dogs intermingle in a fence, and we will do the best we can until we get a board that can see this vision, that can help us to get this park or parks. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
That's all I
John.
have.
Thanks for the comments. Michelle, you got community awareness?
Don, before I start, could I just ask a question real quick?
Sure.
I got a call from a resident today on the north side, And she was very, very concerned. She has had 3 different vendors come to her house and solicit for having her trees cut, for having different yard work done. I don't know what we can do to stop that, but I did tell her I would bring it up to the master board. You can decide what you want to do. She did call Securitas. Securitas said there was nothing they could do about it because there are vendors that are already in here.
That's interesting. Chris, could you comment, please?
Well, this has already been brought up. There is an issue, is these vendors have been brought in. Those people that are solicited need to contact the front gate so that patrol can then go out at that time and then confront those vendors and let them know. And then we'll have a record of it. We're trying to track down one homeowner has called us regarding a vendor, and we're going to follow up with that vendor about soliciting. But if there's others, if the sooner the better, because we don't know the name. If they can say it's a red truck or it's a person in a uniform, the name of the company, call the front gate so patrol can get out there quickly. That's the thing that we need assistance from the homeowners. But one where it was identified, they did call the next day to admin. We are following up with that vendor.
Okay, I will make sure that during my community awareness, I say something also.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank
It's-
you.
It's
Thank you.
important that they have the data so they can go after the person.
Yes.
You-
Okay.
You would
so-
want to,
Go
you would
ahead.
want to get the, like, if they give you a card or their name, right, so we know what the vendor is. That would be.
And you know
helpful.
what? She did get the card, so I will make sure that I follow
then
up
we
on
know
that.
who the vendor is.
Okay. Okay, Michelle Walter, Community Awareness. Our presentation for July is estate planning, probate, wills, and trusts. The date is Tuesday, July 1st, this coming July, here at 1 o'clock in the ballroom. I also wanted to bring something else up to you because it has to do with the community. I am part of the steering committee for the Blue Zones project here in Banning. And as part of the community awareness, I wanted to let you know that Blue Zones is launching our very first Summer Strolls Walking Moai, a small, friendly walking group that connects neighbors, builds community, and supports healthy movement right here in Banning. What is a walking moai? It's a fun, no-pressure group walk where you'll get to know others in our community while boosting your well-being, just like they do in the original Blue Zones around the world. Bring a partner, grandkids, or come solo. Bring a water bottle, comfy shoes, sunscreen, and a positive vibe. And this is an easy pace walk. The dates are every Monday and Thursday from June 23rd to July 24th. The time is from 6 to 7 p.m. The meeting spot is a corner of Wilson Street and Mountain Avenue. Let's walk together for a stronger, healthy community. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Ken Johnson, Birdie Drive.
Master Board, FSR, CCL, and residents. Spectrum contract, what you guys talked about is excellent. Having a separate operating account, I think is very beneficial, because I could see just like that, when I was a kid in the candy store and got my allowance, I went crazy. And then I realized I spent all my money and couldn't go to the show next week. And I had too much candy to eat. So I'd like to see you develop a priority list that what you're thinking about so that we understand the purpose and the usage. And that would help us understand why you made your decision when you get ready to vote. Financials, CCL, the talks we've had. And I hear that labor's kind of out of sync. We're working on stuff. I think it'd really be helpful if we had a status of where we were in food and beverage before CCL, and are we in the hole, or would we have extra money? It seems like we could be able to do that. I'd like to be able to see that CCL and the board, when you make presentations and give information out, here's where we're at, and here's where we're making money or where we lost money. And being able to understand that, I think would be very helpful. If CCL could send out and have a status, here's how many people come, here's when we're active, and that would maybe help encourage other people to come in to the venue. I still think you need to work on improving facilities and getting things organized from wanting to have a nice environment to sit down and come and be together. I remember when I was here as a 22-year resident, we came every week. We had full on a Friday night. You had late people inside the restaurant. I recently attended a restaurant, and it was all shut down by 7 o'clock. What a bad scene. Not good. A little concerned about no procurement committee, that you're going to have special board projects. You know, Joe's very smart in security, but I hope he did a nice scope of work, and when he's going out and get his quotes so that we don't have any surprises. We're getting ready to do a reserve purchase and contract. That we have a good scope of work, how that can be done? Because we buy something, then we go, oops, they didn't really do everything. Now we need to do something else. So I'm really concerned that we're not going to have enough skills and volunteers that when we go do a board stuff and want to go out and purchase and do stuff, we really have the right information. So please think about that. With budget coming up, I hope that we can have a good budget, and I hope that we can do the following. I really would like to see us get back to a piece of heaven where we feel like we're in a resort and we got the right clothing to come out and do some fun. I'm really getting concerned that we're not going to have enough money because we're going to have a shortfall in our budget, and we're going to try to figure out ways how to make it up, and it's not going to be an enjoyable setting. You got a lot of work to do with CCL still trying to do its thing to do a budget, so I hope that we do proper planning and information along those lines. And again, thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Ken. At this point, I'd like to ask any board members any closing comments. Gary? Joe?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a lot of projects and programs going on and finances and numbers, and, well, we've been at it since 9 a.m. this morning trying to get all this information to you in a timely manner and in a correct manner. Today I want to talk to you in my closing statement about something the board is going to present today, and I'm going to be the spokesman here and talk about it a little bit on behalf of all 5 of us. We'd like to do some beautification around here. We'd like to do something that other country clubs have around the world. It's a tower clock that Pebble Beach, go ahead. Go on. The Olympic Club in San Francisco, Torrey Pines in San Diego. Most country clubs around the world, don't show that little girl again until I say so, have these clocks. It's a distinguishing factor in country clubs. If you'll go on to the next page, the way that we are proposing to pay for this is not with your money. We'd like to do a donation brick program, which is used at many sports stadiums and colleges and universities and hospitals around the world. This little girl's sitting in a donated brick area next to her grandfather and grandmother's name. Go ahead. Can I have the clicker? Maybe it'd be easier to highlight what this looks like a little bit bigger. This was a university, and just point it right there. There we go. So, and that. Anyways, so the program is this. I'm not going to use that, but you can go through those slides real slow for me, okay? We'd like to put this across from the sand wedge in between the 2 putting greens. It would have a planter box, a seating area. It's 240 square feet. The entire project would cost the association nothing at all. The clock is custom designed. There's the location. The clock is custom designed by a company that's been around since 1840 in Connecticut. Our clock would be handmade, one of a kind, hand casted exclusively for us. The brick sales to pay for this project, we're going to sell a 4x8 brick, which is custom lasered and guaranteed for life with your family's name or loved one's name on it, or an 8x8 for $400, and some of our commercial vendors have already agreed. We were selling those for $1,000. We need to sell 125 bricks. That's it. In speaking with friends and family and other residents here, it's been very positive, the feedback for us to go forward with this program. It's time we do something fun around here. We talk a lot in these meetings, and we work really hard, all of us volunteering. A lot of the people in this room volunteer every day with different clubs and committees. It's time for us to do something fun. So in the back of the room, You'll see some handouts for the bricks. There's some bricks on display. There's some photographs back there. Tomorrow we'll start an ad campaign. We'll send off a press release to the United States Golf Association, the SCGA, and to the local newspapers and to the real estate companies in the area, letting them know that we're upgrading our game, we're bringing beautification to Sun Lakes and something new, something exciting that the residents are involved in. You can leave your legacy, you can leave a name of a loved one, and I hope you will participate in this community activity. So again, in the back of the room, there's handouts. All the handouts will have a form to fill out. You can go to the main pro shop, and they will accept a credit card or check there. And the great part about this is that we're hoping on December 17th to cut the ribbon on this thing. So we're hoping to get this thing done fast this year, so when you come out with your family and friends at Christmas time and your little grandkids, it'll be the most photographed place in Sun Lakes. It'll be the newest and the prettiest here. So thank you for your time, and I'll pass it back to Don.
Thank you, Joe. Sandra, any comments?
No, none at this time.
Okay. Bob?
Yes, just a couple comments. One is that the demographic survey, I'm going to recommend that we change the name and delete demographic, because the definition of demographic survey is a survey involving age, gender, occupation, education, and ethnicity. None of those questions are asked on this survey. So it's just a survey. We need to survey and get information. It's real important, you know, and I'm pretty certain that the committee and the board is going to come up with a great survey. But I would just suggest we take the name demographic off of it. Also, I wanted to recommend everybody participate and be aware of the 4th of July golf cart parade. Next Friday, you can still fill out an application if you want to participate for your golf cart, a float, or your classic car. They take applications up until the 3rd, the day before. And lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank Joe for all the work that he's done on this project. I think it's an excellent idea, and I think it'll be a great addition to our community. And there's only 125 bricks, and I'm pretty certain there's more than 125 families or people here that are interested. So don't get sold out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. The only comment I'd like to make, obviously the board's busy working hard on your behalf. I will not be here at the next open meeting in July, taking some vacation time that's been planned for some time. And Joe will be covering next month for me. And I hope you have a good meeting in July. And I'll be relaxing for a change. So have a good night. Anybody have anything else?
No, good meeting.
Yes?
I forgot to mention that we will be open on Friday. Initially, CCNL was going to close at 2 o'clock. They're not. They're going to stay open, regular Friday hours up until 10 o'clock, I believe. And we are going to have entertainment. I think it's Jamestown will be the entertainment. So don't go home at 2. You know, we're going to be here until 10 o'clock on the 4th of July. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, there we go. And apologies for the confusion around 4th of July. Because it falls on a Friday, there was some miscommunication out. So yes, we will be here with Jamestown on Friday after the parade and the lawn games. I did just want to say that we did extend happy hour until 8 p.m. tonight. So
Hey.
Please join us in the lounge. We know everybody wants to have a cocktail after this meeting.
I'll be there. Yeah. With that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.